Ooh, welcome everyone to another episode of Slasher Scotty. I am your host, Scotty McCoy, and boy, do I have a surprise for all of you. I have on Zoom with me right now Owen Llewellyn, and he played the R.I.P. man in the movie The R.I.P. Man. How you doing, Owen?
I'm doing good, thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So glad to have you on. So to start off, I guess give everybody a little bit of feedback into your background on how you got your start into acting.
Yeah, so I sort of got my start into acting when I was about 12. Well, I say start, I got my interest in
Mhm.
acting when I was about 12, when we started doing drama as a specific subject at school. And at that
Mhm.
same time, I became like a bit of I got really into movies. And
Mhm.
yeah, the two sort of coincided. Yeah, and then I studied for a few years, and then I didn't act for a few years, and then I got an opportunity to have a very small part in a play with Joseph Fiennes and a few other quite known actors, and it was
Mhm.
nice. And that really sort of got my motivation going to being like, no, this is actually what you want to do. This is where you need to be. So I quit my regular job and just sort of went into acting and did various little parts, sometimes getting a decent part in a film or play, and yeah, just sort of muddling my way through until I got to here, really.
Awesome, awesome. That's great. So, how did you become part of the film The R.I.P. Man?
um, so I met Jamie quite a few years ago for a
Mhm.
friend, and he got me. I think I met Jamie originally due to him needing an extra person in this film called A Prelude to a Fear, where I played a policeman in a small role. And yeah, I met Jamie doing that. Jamie had a big role in it. And since then, we've just sort of known each other socially. And I'd worked with him in a couple of other things where, well, thanks to him, he just, when he needed an actor for something, I guess I was one of the people he contacted. And yeah, not his productions, by the way. Sorry, I just about that. Other things he was like acting in.
Mhm.
And then one day on Facebook, I just got a message on the messenger just saying, "With that, have you seen the artwork picture for R.I.P. Man, the drawing?"
Yeah.
He sent me the front cover of that and just said, "Do you fancy playing the lead role in this feature film?"
Mhm.
And he sent me the script, and I read it, and it was really fun, and I was immediately just jumped on, and was like, "Yes!" and yeah, so I guess he obviously he'd worked with me a few times, and he also I kind of fit the bill in appearance for the
Mhm.
role. And I'd also worked in like I'd worked in a scare attraction for quite a few years, so I guess he knew I could play sort of like a horror character. So
Nice.
yeah, yeah, and it all just sort of fell into place that way. It was very I say the message he sent was very blunt. It was just like, how do you feel like playing the title character in this film? And that was it. And it was like, yeah, so there was I mean, it just came out of nowhere. I wasn't really
Yeah.
acting very often these days, and then this has suddenly come. Yeah, I was just sort
Awesome.
of acting on and off when the opportunities came, and yeah, this just came out of nowhere, and it's been a great ride since.
That's great. So, what is the R.I.P. Man about?
Right, so it's about a group of teenagers who are being targeted by this killer who has a rare oral condition
Mhm.
called sorry, anodontia. Sorry, left my mind for a second there. Where you're born without any teeth, and it can be quite with the inability to grow them, and
Okay.
it can get sores in around your mouth, and it can be quite uncomfortable. It's a real condition,
Okay.
and yeah, he's out. He's basically targeting this specific group of people for reasons
Mhm.
that are unveiled throughout the film, and he'll he like takes when every person he kills, he takes a tooth from them and places it in this mouth guard he wears,
Wow.
which yeah, almost like a trophy for each kill. He'll
Okay.
take a tooth and make his own set of teeth, and um, yeah, he's doing it for a reason. And then the friends don't know who the killer is at first, and they're sort of blaming each other at
Mhm.
first. There's also a detective who the story closely follows, who's finding out more of the intricate details of of the R.I.P. man and his background, and yeah, it's a classic slasher, really, at heart, I think. And set in the UK, it's obviously quite a unique. It's quite unique for that because
Mhm.
there aren't many slashers of that style done over here. So,
Okay, awesome. So, what was your favorite kill that you can do in the movie? Aren't you allowed to say that?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Also, I've only we're still in the middle of filming,
Oh,
so
okay.
most of the filming for me is going to actually be taking place next month. I've been told. So
Mhm.
I've only done a couple so far. Both they've both been well, obviously one of them you'll have seen
Mhm.
in the preview, and then
Right.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think I can really go into detail on that one, but they've both been grisly and to a good effect so
All
far.
right. So I'm assuming you're doing your own stunts for it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We're running on a low budget, so and
Mhm.
there's not been anything specifically dangerous on shoot so
Okay.
far. So
Mhm.
hopefully it's something I'm capable of because I don't think there is going to be a stuntman available anytime. So hopefully it's all safe stuff I can do.
Absolutely. So obviously you're playing a role that obviously is obviously not yourself. I mean, it's a sadistic killer, who's obviously killing people and just taking their teeth. So how do you prepare for a role like that to be a character so different from who you are as a person?
Um, I've had it most of my career actually, where like because I guess being a sort of 6 foot bald man, you get like
Mhm. Right.
typecast. I always joke to friends I play either like villains, psychos, or policemen. Tends to be my three casting types. And yeah, I think obviously as an actor, if you find a niche, embrace it because
Hmm.
yeah, that's where you're going to get work. And
Yeah.
yeah. So I find with like a character like the R.I.P. man though, like I think he's a character that is so far gone to the dark side
Hmm.
that he doesn't really see even though he has his motives. There is a sort of slight revenge motive for him in a twisted way that's sort of
Hmm.
revealed, like not justified revenge, but in his head it's revenge. Um, but I sort of try to treat it as there's a couple of things that sort of go through my mind when I'm trying to act out the scenes. I try to
Hmm.
look at the characters like I don't think he really sees them truly as people. Like I
Hmm.
think he sees them as objects to toy with, and also I think he's got a goal on his mind, and that is he really wants to get that tooth because he sees that as the trophy reward of the kill.
Right.
And I think there's a part of him that feels that once he's got that set of the from the people
Hmm.
his specific list of targets that he wants to kill, he he feels like there'll be that's his goal, that's the achievement he's looking for, and maybe
Okay.
find he'll find a feeling of accomplishment that
Hmm.
he's done what he set out to do. So that's the sort of thing I sort of go in my mind. I try to disassociate the humanity of the character because I don't think there is much in him, and he certainly doesn't see it in other people.
Right. So do you have any dialogue in the film?
I don't have any.
Okay.
He's a silent character,
Okay.
um,
Yeah,
which obviously means.
go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, which obviously means that like everything that I just said and the stories I want to tell with the character all have to
Right.
be done with the face, so
Right.
and his body language and body movements and yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, and if you think about it, a lot of killers out there that are silent are the iconic ones. Jason, Michael. Those are two that come to mind right there. Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, like those are the two that I think of, in terms of really silent killers that are powerful. And even with Michael Myers and Jason, you can't even see their face. So adding you not being able to speak, but showing the facial features, you're still doing acting because you have to show this type of pain or this type of anger or this type of whatever on your face and through your eyes and your mouth movements and all that.
no, absolutely, and I agree. Yeah, they're two of the most chilling and
Mhm.
effective characters in horror history, and I think we're saying on dialogue. I think that this character, the R.I.P. man, he wouldn't be as chilling to watch if he
Mhm.
had dialogue. I think I, and when people have asked me, when I'm talking to them about the film, like
Mhm.
they say like, would you want don't don't you want lines for this character? And I sort of feel like, no, I don't think I would. Now I know the
Right.
character. I don't think I would want
Yeah.
lines. I think he's right. He's right being silent to the best effects. Yeah.
Absolutely, because I mean, even if you look at like Freddy Krueger, he does talk, and in the first two movies, he's really fearful. But the more he talks throughout, like three, then four, then five, then six, like he ends up becoming more cartoony and more, watered down, and with his one-liners. And yeah, he's funny, and it made him who he is. But you don't really get that scared as much because now he's more of a funny slasher, a jokester, a trickster type of thing, and he doesn't do the scariness like he did in the first two films.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'd
Yeah.
say Freddy, if I was to pick like a favorite horror character, like horror killer of all time, I probably would say Freddy. But
Hmm.
I also agree that I don't think of
Yeah.
him. It's not because I think he's the scariest, like
Right.
possibly because he's the most fun. Like,
Yeah.
more than the fact that he's scary. Like, it's just and
Hmm.
yeah, even though I like most of the franchise, well, all of
Yep.
it to a degree, the later ones they're not scary at all. They're just fun.
Right.
Like,
Exactly. Exactly. So because I know you said you're currently filming, so is there any planned release date for the film, or even if you don't have a date exactly, like a planned year?
yeah, so we're hoping this year. They're hoping for August was the time I was told.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to be achievable or not still, because I know that we were originally planning to wrap in March with the
Hmm.
possibility of April, and now it looks to be most of the filming is going to be done in April. So I guess things are getting a little pushed back.
Right.
Often can be. But last date I was told was August was the aim. I think that's a perfect time for a horror film to come out because it gives
Yeah.
it time to be ready for the Halloween season.
Yeah.
Hopefully, make it to Halloween festivals.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you wait like too late, like into October, now you're really getting to the nitty-gritty of Halloween, and you know, doing it right at August gives people the chance to see it in September and October when people really do get in that Halloween spirit.
No, absolutely, and we can't like if we're aiming to finish it at the start of October, we can't. We
Hmm.
probably wouldn't be able to enter it in any festivals for October because
Right.
the slots will probably be taken, and you can't promise something that you haven't finished. So, but I'm
Right.
hopefully that'll be our date, and that'll be the perfect time for it to come out. I think so.
Um,
Yep, like Jamie's previous feature film, The Cellar, like that had a
mhm.
very quick turnaround because
Okay.
one thing I knew he was filming it, next minute it was done and it was ready to see. So he had a very quick turnaround on that. So we'll
Nice.
see how this one turns out.
That's awesome. So, obviously you said that is probably gonna go into festivals. Is there a planned like streaming platform, or like is there any plans like that, or distribution? How do you have any ideas of how that's gonna go?
I haven't been told anything myself.
Hmm.
I, obviously, like distribution will be the goal after we've done festivals. I'd
Hmm.
imagine, like obviously, a perfect place for it to be would be something like Shudder or something like
Yeah.
that. I mean, that would be a dream to be on something like that. I think,
Yeah.
and yeah, hopefully, I mean, any whatever route Jamie and Reese decide to take on
Yeah.
it, I guess. But yeah, the goal will be to get it out there as much as possible.
Absolutely. Shudder and Tubi are like two of the really good platforms. Shudder obviously for its horror content. Tubi even for the horror content, but they have a lot of indie and low budget films on there, and
Yeah,
some of them do really well on there.
yeah, I've only recently discovered Tubi, and it's great.
It
It's
really
brilliant.
is.
Like loads of interesting stuff on there.
It really is. So the last question I have for you, do you have anything else you would like to promote? Any other projects, any social media accounts, websites, or anything at all that you would like to promote to the listening and viewing audience?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I do. First of all, I'd like to promote our. We raised our funding via Indiegogo.
Hmm.
We reached our minimum goal, but we're still in the in demand stage where
Okay.
we're offering the perks for additional budget for the film because we're
Hmm.
still in the filming process. So anything that can go towards locations and props and
Hmm.
stuff like that, the more better we can make it. So I'd just like to plug our Indiegogo. It's yeah, Indiegogo slash project slash the hyphen R hyphen I hyphen P hyphen man. Um, yeah, there's loads of great perks on there. I think there's still like opportunity to get your picture in the film on the detective's wall. There's
Okay.
yeah, props that are used in the film, signed scripts. There's for the higher end, there's like producer roles and yeah,
Hmm.
things like that. So there's plenty on there, and then on the lower end, there's just like there's a thanks, or you can get a text from the R.I.P. man because one thing he does is
Hmm.
he'll text you before he's going to kill you. He'll tell
Oh.
you the date of your birth and today, and
Oh wow. Okay.
and he was yeah saying R.I.P. And also one of his signatures is chattering teeth, which
Okay.
is a calling card of his, and yeah, you can get them signed
Okay.
on the Indiegogo too. So yeah, that check it out. Anyone who
Awesome.
can. And also yeah, social media. I'm on X and Instagram on Owen Llewellyn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds great. So, anybody watching this, if you want to donate to the RIP Man on Indiegogo, please do so. If you don't have the funds to donate, that's okay. But share, that doesn't cost anything. You can, share it on your social media accounts. It only takes a couple of clicks, a couple of seconds. So, do that. Help out indie films and lower budget productions. And help the RIP Man get out there as well. And I really thank you, Owen, for joining me this afternoon.
Absolute pleasure. No, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. You have a great rest of your day.
No, you too. Thank
All right.
you.
Bye.
Okay, bye.